This is the Amazon 1 month overview reading for the month of March 2024. It's currently January 23rd, 2024, 2:28 p.m. Eastern Time. Amazon at the time of this reading, $155.47, that's USD, and the shuffle video that we're about to play for you was created on January 8th, 2024 at 8:04 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video here in the corner. The overall theme and behavior for Amazon in March is sideways rotation along a key support level important on a one-year chart scale. We do the sideways rotation along it, rise to meet the nearest critical resistance on a one-year chart scale, and then fall back down and continue rotating sideways along that same support from earlier. It's crossed with an important resistance level on a one-year chart scale. So there's important support and important resistance on a one-year chart scale highlighted here. That puts us within a range. Behavior around the highest high or highs for the month, we have a rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance on a one month chart scale to meet a second resistance and then pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. That's the behavior that forms a high. Behavior around the low, there's an important trade opportunity on a one-year chart scale here at the low. I'm seeing important trade opportunities for opening long positions at the March low in a lot of March readings, it seems. But this, in the midst of a notable decline into the low, there's a significant opportunity that'll stand out amongst other opportunities on like a one-year chart scale. A notable bottom here, in other words. The whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. We do that by following the rule of karma for the channel. You go to the resources tab of our website, Terra for Traders, and 5% of the profits from every profitable trade utilizing this information should be donated forward to one of these charities, or pick a charity of your choosing as long as you're paying 5% forward, and then 5% should be sent back to the channel through one of these links. If you're international, you can use Wise or you can use YouTube tips. And that leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you follow the rule of karma for the channel, the universe considers you an angel investor. It's going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get back into it. If you haven't seen one of these 1 month readings before, it's important that you know each card going from left to right across the screen, they're numbered. Those are the dates of the month. These cards each represent that one trading day out of the month. But what's important to understand is that not each card's energy will line up perfectly with one day of time in all readings. Sometimes it's off by plus or minus a day here or there. So it's important to follow the sequence of events as outlined by the prediction. That will keep you on track in cases where we are off plus or minus a day here or there. So on the first, in the pre-market, looks like we're coming out of a high from the previous month. We successfully turned resistance into support on the first, and then there's a trough either at the end of the day on the first or at the beginning of the day on the fourth, probably end of the day on the first, and that'll act as the lowest low thus far. There's a peak on the fourth, a near overbought peak that we sell off from through multiple support levels, and that decline continues into the fifth, where we see a prominent trough on a 1 month chart scale there. We revisit a support level on a 1 month chart scale that's important there around the sixth with some sideways rotation and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of sideways rotation. A prominent trough on a 1 month scale there on the sixth as well. On the seventh, an important price level on a 1 year chart scale highlighted, and we have a prominent peak or crest on a 1 month chart scale there as well. Looks like troughs towards the end of the day. In many of the readings, we're seeing like a unicursal decline around the 7th, 8th. So I'd be mindful of that. The 8th is pretty, there's like a failed attempt to break the resistance on a multi-day scale followed by a decline through key support again on a multi-day scale. And that takes us into another prominent trough in the morning on the 11th, where there's like this U-shaped dip, and we finish the day off on the 11th with a big move to the upside. We attempt to establish support near a prominent peak on the 12th. There's a day trade opportunity on the 12th, a swing trade opportunity on the 11th, the 8th, and the 6th, all of which I'll talk about in the paid version. And then on the morning of the 13th, we have a peak that'll stand out on a 1 month scale, followed by a decline to and through support to meet another support, and then we rotate sideways along that support prominent trough there as well. That's rotation sideways along support follows into the 14th, where we establish support, and then there's a big move higher standing out on a 1 month chart scale, followed by more sideways rotation at a higher price level. And it looks like that sideways rotation takes us into the 15th, where we very likely have a prominent peak on the 15th as well that'll really stand out on the 1 month scale. Before we go any further, let's take a look at the January reading and see how we are doing thus far. So we have a high like first thing in the month, right? Followed by a prominent trough on the 4th. So that's pretty solid. And then we go back into highs on the 8th with a new high as indicated by the abundance card on the 11th. And you can see there you go, a new high. There's a sharp drop off that abundance card on the 11th as indicated by the unicursal. Continuing into a low, so a little off there. So I had a lowest low here on the, well, matter of fact, I have a lowest low on the 30th, so we're not necessarily off yet. I had a prominent trough here, so we're still 100% here on the 17th, 18th, and you can see right here on the 17th prominent trough. We go back into prominent peaks on the 22nd, 23rd. This is pretty solid. As long as we fall into a lowest low here on the 30th, this would be 100% accurate. If it doesn't end up being a lowest low on the 30th, then and the third, fourth ends up being a lowest low, it would be because I missed this death card as a lowest low. This often indicates a lowest low. Very, very often the death card does. So that was my bad if this does not end up being the low on the 30th. But with that said, this was really solid. If you opened a long position on the 5th in the midst of a decline, and then you closed it on the 8th, you would have made a solid gain. If you held it until the 11th, you would have made one of the best long trades possible for the month of January. So that would have been solid as well. And then opened up a short on the 11th to close around the 17th, 18th. You would have made solid gains there. Open up a long on the 18th, which I have to close on the 24th, so we would have been off by a day. We would have left a little money on the table, but with that said, it still would have been a solid gain. Really accurate reading, guys. Money-making reading. So if you're interested in the paid version, not only do you get the timing of the best trades that we see throughout the month, but you also get what type of chart behavior on a one-day chart scale to look for as far as entry and exit into those trades. You also get any trades that are relevant on like a multi-month time frame or a multi-year time frame. We talk about price level information, any information as far as price levels that we're able to extrapolate in the paid version, and we also talk about the cross-reading congruencies and how that has us fitting into the larger scale of things. All very, very valuable information. information you can't find anywhere but our channel. I mean, you can find it after the fact anywhere else, but only before the fact on our channel. And you can get that information and really help support the channel in doing so by going to our services on our website, tarotfortraders.com. Go to our services, submit a post, scroll down the monthly subscription, click here to order. And what you're looking for is the Amazon paid, which actually is one of the tickers that you can only get with the all paid version. So you would need to subscribe to the all paid, 30 days access to all paid monthly predictions. What it gets you is not just the paid version of Amazon, but also Google, Nvidia, and all of these tickers and crypto symbols that you see. A ton of valuable information, and it's the best way to support the channel, our most popular subscription. So thank you to everybody that goes ahead and does that. Let's get back into it. All right, so on the 18th, we have a sideways fluctuating decline into an important trough on a 1-month scale. There's a trade opportunity there, and then there's another prominent trough on the 19th. So we likely open higher on the 19th and then decline to and through support to meet another support, rotate sideways along that support for a bit before breaking down through multiple supports. Out of that decline into the trough, out of that trough, there's a rally into the 20th to a near overbought peak or crest towards the end of the day that we then sell off from pretty notably. On the 21st, a lot of price change there. A very bullish day on the 21st, so we likely open lower and then rally higher again. Possibility of a high there, a prominent high, and then on the 22nd, another prominent peak or crest there. We move higher through key resistance, we stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through the same price level shortly thereafter with a full retracement. Sharp decline starting at midday off of that peak. A move to the upside over the weekend, and then on the 25th, we have an important resistance level highlighted on a multi-day scale, on like a 1-year chart scale, a prominent peak there, and a lot of price change into and out of that resistance level. A day trade opportunity we'll talk about in more detail in the paid version. And it looks like a peak at the end of the day. We likely open lower on the 26th with a pop and drop. I'm advised not to chase the trend taking place in the later half of the day on the 26th. On the 27th, we have a prominent trough and a fast sudden move higher out of that trough, taking us to a peak. And from that peak, there's a sharp decline, like a unicursal hexagram type of decline almost, into the 28th, where we have a lot of volatility, and then that volatility ends with a fast sudden move higher, taking us back to another prominent peak or crest on a 1-month chart scale. Sneak preview for April. Erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level, in the midst of which we'll revisit an opportunity that was recently a past opportunity. We'll revisit a crest or a trough that was recently a past opportunity. As far as the highest highs and lowest lows for the month, guys, so the highest probable location of the highs is going to be here on the 1st, here on the 14th, 15th, and then around the 25th. We'll probably see the high more than once based on the Truce card. Lowest low thus far on the 1st, very, very likely a lowest low here on the 11th. And then the other likely location of a lowest low would be here on the 18th. It's really hard to place where the highest high or the lowest low is out of those high probable locations. Reason being is because it's such a sidewaysy kind of, these theme cards are so sidewaysy, it makes it very, very difficult to determine. But in a lot of the March readings, the high is here on the 1st, possibly revisited around the 14th. All right, and that's Amazon for March 2024. My friends, make sure to follow that rule of karma. The channel's counting on you. Without that 3% of viewers that actually follow through, those beautiful, beautiful souls, this channel would not be able to exist. So much appreciation and blessings to all my angel investors. Stay tuned if you got the paid version.